Hello, everyone, and welcome to Week 4 of Season 2 of EGFH in Overwatch. Today, we are live with Week 4 matches from our newest region, Alaska. We're starting with the match between Burchell High and the Cordova Wolverines. I want to start off by thanking our sponsors, the Yukon Gaming Club, the Yukon School of Engineering, and Mob Crush for making this season possible. My name is Vic, and for this series, I am joined by Gorka.
Hello, I'm here. That's my intro. All right, so the map selection will be the Overwatch League format: hybrid, assault, control, escort, and then tiebreak on a control map. The maps we will be playing today are Eichenwalde, then we'll go to Hanamura, Nepal, Burchell, Gibraltar, and then for our tiebreaker it'll be Busan.
Absolutely, and those are some exciting maps. Well, we have to interesting. It is something to note that Torb is disabled for this match due to his disable in comp right now. So no Torbs in this series. But Eichenwalde, the first map. What do you think we're going to see here early on, Gorka?
Well, honestly, I feel like this. We have currently the blue team, which is Burchell. They're currently going to be playing on defense, so I'm expecting some sort of currently the meta and a lot of very popular strategies right now is goats, so triple tank and then 3 healers. So I'm seeing that both teams are going with the traditional 2-2-2 comp. We have Orisa for shield tank for Buchanel, so that'll be an interesting she's very effective with the choke over here, allowing the team just to stay back over by the watchtower but still have a shield right below the bridge. So I believe that they'll probably be playing around there. While the Wolverines, they definitely have their Kripartik on Genji. They could probably run around and try to get past that. I feel like they might be. I think that their Genji pick and their Junkrat pick are actually going to be pretty smart, because with Genji they can, he has a lot more mobility, so he can definitely get around and do more damage to the backline of Buchanel, while Junkrat can spam a lot, especially over the bridge. So I think the Wolverines are looking stronger for this first engagement.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to see they're coming out fast, and I am interested to see. We have the Pharah, but no Mercy on the side. So if Genji or Junkrat can kind of get a sight on Howard Stark here, he might be in trouble. And the first fight, they already pushed in 2 people down. Frozen Scope out of mech and down quickly. Danaruk getting a early nice little advantage there. Could be very big for this defense.
Yeah, definitely. You saw the Kripartik trying to get on point, causing a bit of a distraction. Frozen Scope, pushing in, playing as D.Va, just trying to get in there. Danaruk was able to counter that, so that was a pretty good pick on his part, forcing the res off of Spike, so they won't exactly be playing with res. I mean, I think they might have it back by now, but still, that's not very good. They're currently, I can see that they have they're pushing in a bit more with Buchanel.
Yeah,
Ult's already coming out.
Supernova coming down. Starflight with that first ult is going to pick up Krydra, and so far it's been a pretty good defense. They're not really able to get too much, but I say that right as the Wolverines find the fight they needed.
Yeah, that definitely was kind of. I saw that the Buchanel was kind of pushing back. They weren't being as aggressive. They were kind of letting essentially less wasting. He was able to get a nice positioning right, in the little bar over here towards the right. So that definitely positioning with the shield allowed them to push in, and Buchanel kind of stayed back, and especially during that mini choke point right there in the wall, that kind of caught themselves. As Starflight was able to get some nice picks there. So that definitely just took down the defense.
Yeah, the Wolverines have a good start here for sure. A lot of time, 4.5 minutes still on the clock, and a pretty far away setup here from Burchell. They're trying to get far, but the High Noon picks up 2 immediately, and with both supports down, this is almost an impossible fight that the Wolverines just need to try and survive, if not get out.
Yeah, that ult by that High Noon by Danaruk was completely crucial. That just totally shut down the Wolverines' push. Taking out both of the supports, just left their tanks to be totally weakened. He was able to get, Danaruk himself was able to get both Wasting and Frozen Scope out of mech, and that was just really strong in his part. I feel like he's really doing a very good job right now in this game. We see that Sol Noctis has been taken out, so that's a very good pick on Wolverines.
Oof! Yep, and the Moira or the Orisa not quite able to protect Moira and the Pharah from the Diva Bomb. It's a good start, but again, the members of Burchell just kind of finding the picks they need, and the staggering of wasting at the end of that last fight, I think was so big. You talked about the Sol Noctis getting the Sol Noctis pick. That's not possible if your Reinhardt is still with the team. And not dead for another couple of seconds. So, but Danaruk going down early could be the opening that the Wolverines need.
Yeah, especially if they capitalize on this opening right now. I can see that Wasting's pushing in, though they're being a bit. Oh, that ult coming out from Howard Shark, so that's gonna push the Buchanel back. And Kapartik with an ult actually taking down both supports for the Wolverines, and the ult coming out from Riptide coming out. That's actually doing a lot of damage.
Oof, yeah, the Riptide picking up Kryja, finding a way to get Howard Stark as well. I couldn't even see where he was positioned to fall. Danaruk falling down, probably not the place he's going to be. Arisa's forced to back up here, but ults are still pretty even on the map as, yes, the Wolverines used a couple ults in that fight, including Riptire, but they're getting up. That's a very early Lucio ult from Supernova trying to survive this. Frozen Scope's going to get demeched, but not the biggest worry in the world as the rest of the team's still trying to get in. Now Howard Stark's back, trying to push them away. This is a good defense now, I think. A great ultimate, though, from Wasting is going to separate everyone from this. Can he get the backup needed? Starflight's going to get rezzed by the Mercy, and the push is coming. This fight is absurd, Gorka.
Yeah, that was really good. That the Earth Shatter from Wasting was very crucial to move that payload a couple meters, but even then, Danaruk's High Noon was able to zone the rest of the Buchanel to just not push in too far. And now Wolverines have come back and have managed to take control over the point. I really feel like the ults, just trading back and forth with the ults, trying to just push them back and forth. Really well done, especially for Buchanel. They managed to end that engagement with 3 ults compared to the Wolverines 1. So I feel like the Buchanel, they're in a very strong position here, especially with a hold way farther in front of the payload. That's very good for them.
Burchell's defense is holding well. I'm curious what Crip Arctic was thinking. They're using that Genji ult when the Wolverines knew their offense was stopped for that push. It doesn't give him that Dragon Blade for this, and so Noctis getting picked early kind of again. Wasting's gonna find one. The res has to come out this early though, so it's not there for the Genji, but they might not need it. Howard Stark's gonna use his ult. He actually picks up 2, turns this fight maybe in Burchell's favor as Mercy trying to get in there. Battle Mercy, who needs the res when you can just take down Howard Stark and leave Krydra on his own?
Yeah, the 2 supports from the Wolverines are actually separated, though now they've got Frozen Scope and Kapartik to support them right there. And weirdly enough, that whole hog from Kryda didn't actually manage to take out those 2 supports, so that I think is going to be very important in this fight right now. If most of the Wolverine players can definitely stay alive, that Diva ult, ooh, a very powerful Riptide from Starflight, just completely shutting down any Buchanel defense for this last point, and I'm fairly certain that the Wolverines will easily be able to take this point right now and add 1 minute and 30 seconds to the board.
Yeah, like you said, overtime almost ticking down, Gorka. They were ready, 5 seconds on the clock. They get the point 2 though, giving them 1.5 minutes to work with. They're about to have Dragon Blade. They're at an ult disadvantage, but it might not be an issue here as the ults on the side of Burchell aren't the most impactful ults in a fight unless that High Noon is almost used as a zoning tool again. I think this all matters on how does Crip Arctic use this Dragon Blade.
Yeah, I really feel like it. As we see the Dragon Blade coming out right now with Kapartik, and he is not really doing very much damage, actually. I feel like, I was about to say that he should have comboed with Wasting and tried to do they could have done a very nice combo with the Earth Shatter and the Dragon Blade, but honestly I feel like both of those ults have been completely wasted. Honestly, that advantage that the Wolverines had that you were talking about really were kind of just thrown away. Although, as I say that, they are managing to hold on to the payload much better, and the Buchanel's defense is kind of a staggered right now.
Yeah, the High Noon coming out, trying to stop them 1.65 meters. We saw in that fight that Wasting was kind of off to the side, drew Spike to him, and now we're seeing a massive Krydra switch there going on to the Hammond, just trying to keep what he can in this. We're seeing the Diva Bomb just trying to find room. Only 12 seconds left. gets 2. Again, the Diva Bombs from Frozen Scope have been so impactful. It's down to Howard Stark and Thunderboy, and there's not enough time left. They get off the point for just a second, and that is a completion from the Wolverines, maybe against all odds, Gorka.
Yeah, that was very solid, honestly. I feel like at the start of the match, they kind of were a bit tentative. They weren't exactly pushing in as strongly as I would have liked, though, you know, still pretty strong. But like once they got onto that payload, they were able to really control it very well. I mean, but Buckingham was still able to, you know, push in and do a pretty good job just moving in and taking the point back. But I'll be interested to see how they play on offense themselves, because they felt like their ults weren't exactly super strong. I feel like sometimes they weren't really able to capitalize on all of them too much. I say Howard Stark was doing pretty well with his barrages, but aside from that, most of those ults were kind of wasted. We saw those Lucio sound barriers from Supernova were very early in most engagements. So Wolverines are definitely playing with a much better ult economy, and they're doing much better with their ult usage. As we see the new lineups, the Wolverines are going to be playing almost, this is identical to their offensive strat, you know, with the Lucio and Mercy on support with a Genji and a Junkrat for offense. That'll be interesting to see. I feel like they're going to be taking up a more forward defense as well, which is actually kind of interesting. You don't see that very often. Most teams tend to just default towards the bridge over here, but although actually they might just be running back and doing the typical bridge strat.
I feel like that was a bit of a scouting trip maybe from them, seeing if they can judge what this Burchell offense looks like. It is interesting to note that it's closer to the GOATs that we were expecting. They do have the Doomfist, but running the Brigitte and the Moira Lucio, trying to give them a lot of healing and a lot of support for their tanks. It's working so far as they get an early fight, taking down Spike, taking down 3 others, and it's only Starflight, and Frozen Scope remaining. Frozen Scope's going to get demeched, and that is an amazingly fast take if they can finish the point A here.
Holy crap, that was actually very impressive. Danarook, very critical in that push. He managed to just run past and just dash him past the Wolverine defense, going straight into point, and that kind of caught their attention. Everybody else was trying to rush to catch up with Danarook and take him out. And in that fight, the Buckingham was able to take out the supports of Wolverine, and once you take out those supports, the lifeline's gone, and their defense just fell apart, honestly.
Yeah, but Danarook not going to find Lightning twice in a row, way too far ahead of his team. His team was pushing with the payload, trying to wait for the gate to open. Goes really far. This is a tough offense now for them to try and press, but they're still pressing forward. Howard Stark's now going to fall. They're using the Dragon Blade from Crip Arctic here, and he should find all the fight he wants as the members of Burchell just fall one by one, and that's gonna stop the offense for at least a solid 30 seconds here.
Yeah, I can see that. Burchell, their offense that they're trying to do is they're trying to be very aggressive and just jump in and get into the defense, have at least one player in the defensive hold of the Wolverines, and with that player trying to distract them, the rest of the team could push the card and do damage. That's kind of the strategy that they're trying to pull here. As I saw that Howard Stark was the first to run it. Wow, that was impressive.
You can't run into anything with the Riptire. Starflight, again, I think that's the second 4-man Riptire we've seen from him just this match. Wasting's gonna kind of knock himself back as we see Crydra's Brigitte just kind of have to fall around. Wasting might be too far forward here, and it may be the start of the look. Just kidding, as they take down Howard Stark. Wasting gets back to his team, and once again, Burchell just seem like they are pushed back from this offensive.
Yeah, that Riptire has to be demoralizing, honestly. Like, you're playing as a team, you're trying to organize everything, and then you just get destroyed with a 4-man Riptire. Like, honestly, you gotta start, like, you might start doubting yourself with that. And I can see that the Wolverines are doing a very good job just taking out that early aggression from Burchell. They're doing an absolute phenomenal job. Every time that Howard Stark or Danarook just push in and try to get into the defense, they just take them out immediately and then once again focus on the rest of the team. They're not letting what happened on the first point happen again. They've already learned. They're quick learners here. They're doing very well.
Yeah, but Danarook turning that fight, it was going in favor of the Wolverines again, but this Doomfist running rampant. It's pretty much just Crip Arctic here to defend this. He's going to fall. Frozen Scope is demeched. If they're smart, they kind of get a bit of a stagger there, and finally, after 2 minutes of the payload being stuck in that doorway, Burchell are going to get a push. They might even get around the turn, but I don't think they're going to quite get to the bridge.
Yeah, they've already. That was very good. Danaruk being able to take out those supports with that ground, that meteor strike. That was very efficient. It definitely just took out their the Wolverine defense. But once again, Wasting's already back on point, along with Spike, and the supports are there. Karpartik is taking out getting his kills.
Yeah, he popped Dragon Blade. That's the second time we've seen it in this match now, and gets taken out. Danaruk's going up again. Can Doomfist find as impactful of an ult as we saw the first time around? He does it. The Riptire once again, finding 4 people. Spike's gonna res Wasting as well, so it's 4 members, or all 5, 6 up for the Wolverines to only 2, and at 2 minutes 20 seconds, it's going to be about 1 or 2 good fights here left for Burchell to try and break this defense.
Yeah, this is already with the Diva bomb coming out, pushing them back, wasting even more time. Honestly, I feel like the Wolverines have a very solid defense right here. And they're, although I can see that Buchanel, with their sound barrier, have managed to take control of the payload. And Solnoctus actually responded with his own sound barrier as well.
Yeah, they're trying to get onto Karpartik. He was just buying time, stopping the payload from moving, and you can see the Starflight in the back just trying to maybe start dealing some damage, start getting up another Riptire, and he's getting work done. Danaruk's gonna fall. That's most of the offensive power here from Burchell down, and the rest of the people are just kind of in a shooting gallery. The rest of the members, Spike's going to get them up, Dragonblade's going to go down, and this should be enough to push them off. And we're ticking to a minute 15, Gorka. This is starting just to look grim as Thunderboy and Howard Stark are trying to find a turn here.
Yeah, further scope with this Diva bomb, just, force everybody off. Actually getting Krydra, although, Meteor Strike taking out Spike. I feel like that ult, that Primal Rage from Howard Stark, would have been very useful, and maybe earlier in the fight would have been able to get Buchanel to take control of the point, but Wasting just managed to actually just completely shut that down, just pushing Howard Stark bats. So I feel like at that point, that really cemented the Wolverines' control on the point, as that they're showing right now.
Yeah, and Wasting with another massive ultimate there. He's going to get so many people down. He pushes back the Lucio, and it is trouble now. 2 people fall. The Riptire, funnily enough, Starflight's maybe worst of this round, but it's so much as Danaruk is on to the Reaper now and just trying to get what he can. He gets 2, but time is ticking down. Only 17 seconds to go, and pretty much only Danaruk that can mount an offensive here. He has to buy time for the rest of Burchell to get around this corner, but it's Wasting just in the backlines, doing all kinds of stalling. But unfortunately, if Frozen Scope can't take down Danaruk here, it might be for naught. The rest of the Wolverines are here. Can they get this Reaper off of the payload? Finally, Supernova's here to provide him with backup, and the Wolverines are just kind of slowly falling. It is overtime. They just need one good fight, but right now it's advantage Burchell as they're pushing towards the bridge.
Wow, Danaruk really just pulled in through for the Buchanel. Seriously, he just came in, just started doing damage, and just tore through the remaining Wolverine defense, which were only like 2 players right on the point. And actually, I feel like his move right there, just taking it out, all the work that Wasting did to hold that back to the rest of his team, just completely wasted with Danaruk being able to take full control of the payload. And now Buchanel, actually, I think that they're going to be able to make it to this second point. Honestly, I was doubting it, believing that this was going to be the end of the story for this match, but right now it's looking like they're going to be able to do it. It's really surprising.
They're really pushing through. We saw Noctis trying to go for, once again, a bit of an early sound barrier. Wasn't able to do it. Frozen Scope is going to be brought back by Spike, but it's just a delaying tactic that's once again failing. A great ultimate again from Wasting, but I think he missed the charge, and he's just going to fall, and now they're just staggering themselves and giving more and more push. Riptire comes in, picks up 2, but it's not in time, and now a minute and 20 seconds. This map isn't quite over yet.
Yeah, that was, honestly, that surprised me from Wolverine. They were kind of just feeding that, Buchanel. They were just going in one by one, kind of letting it, and they wasted both their ults. Honestly, that Starflight, Riptire, honestly, I felt like he could have done much better and would have been way more effective for him to just save that for a later fight. even though Frozen Scope does get a very nice Diva Bomb taking out 2 people, that doesn't really stop like the Buchanel offense, though that Kripartic Dragon Blade does seem like it's actually bringing their attention to the back line and is letting the Wolverines take control of the point, or at least contest it in a pretty strong manner.
He is going to fall, but he is going to get rezzed by the Mercy. Time's ticking down to 40 seconds. It's a great fight for the Wolverines to kind of finally get back control of this game. We saw that Danaruk just didn't really respect the Diva Bomb. He was standing right next to it when it exploded, taking him down. 25 seconds are ticking down. Burchell has one more fight in them. Can they do it again? Can they survive through overtime? Odds are in their favor if they can make this work. And man, Danaruk coming up huge with the 4-man Death Blossom. That's going to push them through. The respawn timers might be just enough for the Wolverines to try and get one more defense in here. Wasting's going to fall. That staggering could be huge. It's 4v6 if the Wolverines can hold. Overtime is ticking down, so they just need one fight, and they're going right back in. Wasting is back up. Starflight gets one, so Noctis picks up another, and they're holding. The Wolverines are looking to try and get it. Mercy is flying high. The Diva Bomb picks up 2. It's pretty much only Danaruk and Kryja, and it is them against the entire Wolverines team. Danaruk trying to do it again, but he cannot. Overtime is ticking down. No one is close enough, and after such a close match, the Wolverines take the first map.
That was a really strong map from both teams, honestly. The Wolverines, they were just doing much better with their ults. That's definitely their strength. That was definitely what gave them the edge over the Buchanel. Honestly, like Starflight, you saw those Riptires. Those were just massive 4-mans like every other minute. Really, it was mind-blowing. Kripartic, even though his Dragon Blade wasn't exactly the smoothest, he still got those very nice, at least around 3 or 2 kills. And almost all the time it was supports.
Starflight had 20 Riptire kills on the Junkrat. Just for the record, of his 36 eliminations, 20 of them were Riptires. So we're
exactly.
going.
That's just that was just a really strong. Their offensive ults were just very, very strong.
So we're going into the assault map of Hanamura next, Gorka. We saw fairly strong offenses from both teams. Burchell kind of made theirs last-minute offense, but it was still very strong. What do you think we're going to see from this Hanamura map?
Well, I'm kind of thinking about that. First point, I feel like the Wolverines would be able to push in. Definitely feel like the ults are going to be very important, especially if Burchell still plays with McCree. So this is a very open map, especially the second point has a very large open area. So if this is going to be a bit more of a longer ranged hero, so you got stuff like McCree and the snipers, Widow, if one of these teams pull out a Widow and they can get a good Widow, I feel like that would give them a very nice advantage and have a very good it would be very interesting to see that played. Another thing that obviously that longer range heroes could definitely be countered with faster compositions, maybe dive. I would love to see dive, especially for the first point, since there's that window towards the top right of the first point. I feel like that if you can get dive to go through there and just go around any sort of defense that's put on the main gate, that would be interesting. Honestly, I think that this could go very well if Wolverines stick with their same exact comp that they had beforehand. I don't know if it'll be as strong.
Well, we'll definitely have to see, Gorka. You've given us kind of a lot to look at for this map, and you said this offense, we'll have to see what the Wolverines look to do, but we are going to take a small break before we get on to Hanamura. We'll come back, we'll finish prepping this map, and we'll get right into map 2 of this awesome series, so stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. We are about to get into our map 2 on Hanamura, and Gorka, we were talking some before we went to break, and what we wanted to see from these teams. Looking back on map 1, we saw the Wolverines. It was Wasting and Starflight really the star, whereas you look at Burchell and it was really Danaruk taking the reins. We talked about that point 2 secure pretty much all on the back of Danaruk's Reaper.
Yeah, definitely. Danaruk is definitely acting like a hard carry for Burchell. They're doing a very she is doing a very good job just playing DPS and getting those picks and definitely allowing her team to just move in. But like honestly, I feel like Howard Stark also could definitely be could show up in this next match because he was still, had his moments of pushing in and getting the attention of the Wolverines. They are right. Most of the weight has been kind of on Dana Rook's shoulders. So I'm very interested to see if Hanamura will change a bit, because especially I see that she's already playing as a Soldier 76, so trying to take advantage of those longer sight lines, especially on this map for offense. Definitely trying to just do damage to any shields that can be put onto the main gate opening. As we see that Wasting is back on Ryan. He was doing a phenomenal job. Those Earth Shatters were definitely picking up a lot of the Burchell players. And actually, as we see, the comp for the Wolverines is almost identical to the previous match. So it doesn't seem like, which is also a comp that works very well on Hanamura, especially with Junkrat and the amount of angles there are at this first point in the residential area. I'll think that Starflight will once again do a very good job at this first point.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. They're going to push in pretty quickly, and they're going to see shield v shield as it's double Rhine for the teams. But they have Howard Stark on this Pharaoh, maybe trying to get a little bit of space going, trying to push him back slowly, but he does have something to deal with as Kripartik is back on that Genji that we saw do very well at times on that first map, and both teams are just kind of staring at each other standstill. Danarok is taken very low and definitely taking the most damage so far in this fight, but they're just going to keep pushing up at each other. Danarok, first one to taken out. Kripartik picks up the first crucial kill, picking up Thunderboy as well, and this is what they needed this Genji to do. Get around back, get to the damage. Shadow Storm's going to fall, and this should nullify this first offense here as the remaining members look like they're going to get picked up. It's only really the Pharah, but I say that as Danarok has revived, comes back, a great shot from Starflight, picks up Krydra. Frozen Scope is demeched, and we might go back to them just kind of shooting at each other as the first skirmish leads to status quo.
Yeah, I could tell that Kripartik was just controlling this first area, this residential area. He just had it locked down. Starflight was there supporting him, and they just had full control over there. And especially that pick on Danarok at the beginning was crucial to just preventing any pushes from Burchell.
Yeah. But we're seeing Spike and Soul Noctis fall, pushing in now are Burchell. They're really making their place known. Danarok using that ultimate, picking up two, and another one with the grenade on Wasting, and that should be the entirety of point A. With 2 minutes to go, I would be very surprised if the Wolverines attempt to defend this. It looks like they are just going to get out. Starflight, I didn't actually realize, was still alive off to the side. He's going to fall. Danarok is actually taken down by Kripartik. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but it's still point A over to Burchell.
Yeah, that was a very solid push from them. They kind of just moved in using Supernova's shield, although now the ults are coming out.
Yeah. And we're seeing Kripartik with the Dragon Blade trying to get some, but the barrage from Howard Stark. Kripartik's gonna pick up one, but it's kind of just stuck. Spike's trying to pocket whoever that Mercy can, and it just results in kind of a couple wasted ultimates from the Wolverines, and Danarok now back on to that McCree trying to find what he can. We heard the Rip Tower picks up Supernova only, so the Rhine is down, but damage is still up. Thunderboy is very low, trying to see if Frozen Scope can take him out, but the Brigitte is so hard to take out in these fights. Frozen Scope's gonna get demech, should get taken out here. Shadow Storm picks up that one, so Noctis falls as well. Wasting is behind, tries to get the charge in, is gonna find the charge onto Thunderboy and knock him down, but meanwhile it's pretty much just the Genji and the Mercies are down, and they're both gonna fall because of that beautiful ultimate, and the Diva Bomb picks up two, and they can't quite get that first tick on B. That is so close, Gorka.
Yeah, honestly, Burchell, they were really able to punish that overextension that Wolverine had. Wolverine was able to, do some damage. They were able to take out Supernova, which was very nice, but I feel like they got a bit too cocky and decided to move in and push in too far. And once there, Danarok was able to take out, Frozen Scope, and once that happened, the Wolverines were just caught out with their pants down, and Burchell was able to just punish that to that aggression.
Yeah.
So right now they're doing a nice job of holding him back. Supernova went in too far without support from his team, and he got knocked out. So now they're being waiting on him for his respawn. He's already pretty far off, especially with Thunderboy as well. And Kryja actually getting picked off. So once again, we're seeing that stagger that on the side of Burchell.
The Wolverines are fighting right back. We're seeing fighting outside the point even. Starflight's finally going to fall. He was just kind of dancing around them. Dragon Blade from Cryptarctic. Is he going to be able to get anything? He's trying to focus Supernova, but is struggling to get too much of anything. Shadowstorm's going to be the first one to fall. Cryptarctic doesn't fall as Frozen Scope actually takes down Howard Stark. The Barrage not finding anything, and just once again, it seems like Burchell are being pushed back. They're going to try and keep moving because they have Danaruk. They have the High Noon available, but Supernova's falls now. The tanks are pretty much down here. Danaruk trying to find entry into a possible High Noon spot as this McCree, but just the barrage coming from Diva, from Cryptarctic, having the fear of that happening. This should end this little offensive push, but Spike falls to Shadowstorm, and I don't know if Burchell is going to consider that an opening or if they're just going to try and push the Wolverines out of this entryway.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't much of an opening, taking out Spike, because he was a bit on to the side towards the left, and the most wasting was in the choke point, although we do see that the Burchell that are coming in, and they're actually taking up the high ground, which is very interesting, position. Not actually going for the balcony, but just simply going for the side balcony. And Danaruk coming out with the High Noon, which will be very good for zoning, but doesn't actually get any picks. Starflight's Riptire coming in and taking out Supernova once again. So I feel like that was a very interesting push from Burchell. They were doing a very good job, trying to take the alternate route. Was a nice choice, but in the end, the Wolverines were able to, push that back, and Starflight's Riptire just kind of, forced them to go away. And actually doing a very good job just getting picks and staggering Burchell. Like right now, Kryja is down, and I doubt that Shadow Storm is going to survive for much longer. So now they're going to have to wait on them for their response, and they only have like 3 people up here. It's not looking good for Burchell.
Yeah, that was a lot of staggering, and Thunderboy fell so early in that fight. The one thing that I would say that is maybe good for Burchell is the ult economy is back to even, and with Howard Stark very quickly approaching a barrage, you would think the ult economy is going to be in their favor. Starflight taken very low, actually gets taken down by Thunderboy early in this, and Starflight being down, yes, he didn't have Riptire, but he was building towards it, not having the threat of that ultimate. Frozen Scope used the Diva Bomb as gets demeched, and this could be the opening they're looking for, as Danaruk is even on the Genji now. It's Genji versus Genji here if they want to go for it. Cryptarctic's maybe looking for it. We're going to see the Genji duel, and Cryptarctic wins it, and now going in for the Dragon Blade, trying to take down Thunderboy. He will, and now on the balcony, they are sitting ducks. The barrage is going to come out. They do take out Starflight once again. They're trying to get onto the point. The fight has moved from balcony onto point, but it's still just going pretty even here. But now Howard Stark trying to pick up the kills. Supernova's going to fall. Wasting's back in this fight. Can they find anything? The Riptire explodes, hits 2, and this should be the end of the fight. And once again, the Wolverines hold.
Yeah, that was definitely very strong. It was just simply the Wolverines were just simply getting the picks. They were able to take him out. The Genji versus Genji, Danaruk going down early in the fight, really just decided for them to be able to, for the Wolverines, even if the Burchell was able to get onto the point, without Danaruk and without that DPS, they were in a very tough spot, and you could show. Supernova went down, and when Supernova went down, most of the defense was just done, and that was just, it was close, it was a nice push, good attempt, but they just didn't have the damage output and the defense to actually be able to hold and make a push like that work.
Now they're pushing in with only 10 seconds. They have to go. Starflight is going to pick up Howard Stark. That's not having the Pharah here, but they pick up 2. Wasting and Starflight are down. We see Cryptarctic with the Dragon Blade. Gets 3. Might get the hold. It's only Shadowstorm pretty much. Danaruk is going to pick up a kill herself. She actually takes down Cryptarctic with her own Dragon Blade. And will this be enough to hold? Is down. Overtime's going to tick down. And no percentage on point B, as that was a beautiful defense, honestly. I can't think of any other wording there, Gorka.
Yeah, that was just really strong. They were able to just maintain people onto the point, never really letting that slip by, which is definitely the reason why they weren't able to get any capture progress. The Wolverines were just doing a very good job just staying on the point. It's a very simple and seems obvious, stay on the point to defend it, but many people, forget that. And they try to go for those picks, while Wolverines were able to stay calm and collected, just staying on the point, remembering and focusing on the main objective, and just that really gave them the control of the map, not letting Burchell just do anything. They couldn't do much. Dana Rook was picked off a lot in the first engagement. She was typically taken out like at the very beginning, and that definitely, put Burchell at a very strong and not very strong, but like really bad disadvantage.
Well, and even when she wasn't being picked off, she was losing the Genji duels to Kripartic, who we saw on map 1 is a very strong Genji. So it's very interesting to me that they went for the Genji v Genji, knowing that Danaruk was seemingly having better results on the Soldier, on the Reaper.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure about that, especially after I would say, okay, you could have tried that, maybe try to see if you could pull off that Genji versus Genji, but after the first loss, especially with the Dragon Blades, I believe they both popped Dragon Blade and Kripartic won. After that, I felt like Danaruk should have just gone back to more of a safety pick, probably Soldier would have been nice, since the long sight lines on point B would have supported that a lot. Though I see that she is now playing Hanzo, which is interesting, and they only have one tank.
Yeah, one tank.
They only have Thunderboy on. It's not even Supernova. It's Thunderboy on
Rhine.
Rhine. Yeah, which is, I mean, unless you want to count. I mean, they have 2 shields. Sydra's on, Bridget, but that's weird. Honestly, it's like a goats, but instead of 3 tanks, you got 2
tanks.
DPS.
1 tank and 2 DPS. Yeah. And we're gonna have to see. We see them going in. They are going to look for it early as Thunderboy looked for the charge, but they only get Wasting and Frozen Scope's health. We do see Kripartic taken pretty low, is going to back off. This first defense slowly kind of looking very similar to what we saw when Burchell was on offense, and Kripartic gets stunned there. Are they going to be able to take him down? He's so low, he does fall, so Noctis falls as well. Spike has already had to use the res, so there will be no res for Kripartic here, and now Mercy just trying to stay on 2 Wasting there. Actually, Danaruk falls to Starflight on that Junkrat in the back lines a little bit, and this is, I think, the second or third time we've seen Starflight just kind of trying to be a backline annoyance Junkrat. Wasting so far forward. Kripartic's going to dive towards the backline, trying to get behind this Reinhardt shield, and he's just trying to find what he can. The ultimate from Wasting doesn't really hit anybody, but they got Shadowstorm. They're on the point now, and we're going to see a Dragon. He has the Dragon Blade. Let's see if he tries to use it. The Hanzo ult is going to come down, picks up Kripartic before... Oh, he did actually use the Dragon Blade, so that's a pretty big loss there. And now Howard Stark using the barrage. They are going to revive Kripartic, but not having the Dragon Blade means that he could fall very quickly if they turn around on him here. Spike's still alive as well, but I think this is the Wolverines maybe giving up this offense once Kripartic falls and going back. They're kind of toying with him here. I don't know if this is a good idea. They do finally stagger him, but I don't know if it's enough to stop this fight.
Yeah, honestly, if I were the Wolverines right at that point, I would have actually pushed him with Kripartic on the point. Even if he got down, they would have at least gotten to the main courtyard, where the rock is. So that probably was a misclick on the Q from Solnoctis, because he didn't hit or support anybody with a sound barrier. That's a bit weird. So a bit of a waste on there. Also, Supernova responded with his own sound barrier super early, and that basically being wasted. That was weird. Both Lucio's kind of just talking to each other in sound waves. So definitely there, Spike's already been picked off, so that's actually, this offense for Wolverine, this push seems a bit weak right now. They're probably gonna have to back out and let Frozen Scope get her mech back and just keep Starflight in the backline. Actually, he's doing what you said earlier, being a backline harasser, though Howard is doing a good job getting him out.
Yeah, Krydra, I don't know why Krydra was there, as the Brigette is going to fall. Howard Stark falling as well. Starflight finding another maybe key pick. 2 members down mean they can look for this. Rip Tower is going to come around the backside. Who's it going to find? It does find 2 as Supernova and Shadowstorm go down. The Hanzo ult's going to come through. Is it going to get anybody? A D-Max Frozen Scope, and Spike fell to the Rhine earlier in this. We are onto a contested point, and its numbers a massive ultimate from Thunderboy. He picks up 2. Can he find Solnoctis? He cannot. He gets taken down, and that is enough people on point A that they should be able to get this. Krydra's going just maybe to contest a little bit, is going to fall, and now Howard Stark's coming in as well. They're just falling in one by one. There's 3 members now of Burchell here trying to defend this. The Dragon Blade is going to come out from Crip Arctic, and getting 2 members, this should finally be point A going over, but with only 6 seconds before is only going to give them about 4 minutes on the clock here. Luckily, they only need 33% Gorka.
Exactly. Yeah, I think they could definitely do this. I was about to say they were a bit Burchell was a bit staggered, but actually that most of the teams actually already back. Honestly, yeah, those just forcing the overtime there, definitely giving the Wolverines less time. Definitely a nice move on Burchell. Just they knew that all they had was supports and a baby diva, so they did have an opportunity and a chance to actually get rid of the just shut down that offense, but they, as you can see, they still managed to get point A. Right now, I'm seeing that it's kind of pretty standard back and forth, both teams facing each other down at their respective
Crip
choke
Arctic's
points.
gonna fall. The Diva Bomb's gonna come in. They're gonna look for this. The Diva Bomb picks up both supports, and so this might be like a fight they can win even without Crip Arctic, as he is back alive now. Thunderboy falls as well. Remember, they only need 33%. They have to get on this point. The Hanzo's gonna come out. Starflight is gonna fall as well. 2 kills total for Danaruk. With that ultimate, may have prolonged the game. They need to keep contesting this, though. That point is so close to build up. If they leave this, it is a C9 in waiting as Danaruk, as they are pushing them off. This is just 2 members, Crip Arctic and Solnoctis, trying what they can to get this push, maybe keep the bar there. They were so close, but with only 2.5 minutes and with a massive stagger of Solnoctis and Crip Arctic, this is looking about 2 minutes still to get that percentage.
Yeah, that I was concerned there for a few seconds for Burchell because they had like 2. They had, I think it was Sidra and someone else over like by the balcony towards the left and not really focused on the point, kind of just letting the Wolverines get on point. So that was a very nice initial push for them, a good opening. But they managed to pull it back. Actually, Danaruk with his ult and his damage, he's doing very well. She's doing very well on Hanzo. She's getting those picks. So, and those all her dragon, twin dragon attacks are doing pretty well. Wow, that's massive right there.
Yeah, we're gonna see the fight. So Noctis gets taken down. Starflight though picks up 2 on his own with the Riptire. Crip Arctic is gonna fall, and early in their fight we saw Spike use the res on the Starflight. He's gonna fall as well now. Danabrook doing what she can. Spike is going to revive Soul Noctis of all people. Crip Arctic is back, does have the Dragon Blade. Spike has the Mercy ult if possible. Soul Noctis falls again. Frozen Scope gets demech, and now Wasting goes in. He picks up Howard Stark and tries to pin the rest of them. We see the Mercy ult come out. Is it going to be enough though? Minute 23. Now Spike is going to fall. If Wasting gets staggered here, this is a pretty big stagger for this Burchell defense. And Crip Arctic is here. He is kind of hiding above them. Same with Starflight is beside them. Wasting actually picks up Danaruk of the fight there. I really didn't expect that. Wasting's still alive. The members of the Wolverines are back, and we're going to see the Dragon Blade. They're going in, trying to push the remaining members away. Wasting just charges in. 2 fall. Howard Stark gets a 2-for-1 kill there. Thunderboy's going to fall, but those 2 kills might be enough to at least stall this offense. And with only 48 seconds left, we're pushing towards one final push.
Yeah, that was a very good pick from Howard Stark. Just getting both Crip Arctic and Wasting, that was the Wolverines' opportunity there. If they could have had those 2 players stay on the point, they could have had the rest of the team move in, and they would have had solid footing to get in and make a solid push. But that pick right there was crucial to forcing them to make another push right now. And also the Supernova on Bastion is going to be a very interesting pick, honestly. I feel like just spamming down into the choke point would be a very nice strategy right now, just forcing them to be terrified of even getting onto the down point. Like Wasting could probably be taken down right now. And
yeah, Wasting's going in, gets the ult. They're trying to use the Diva Bomb. They're trying. There's so many people. It's a 3-man Diva Bomb. It is only Thunderboy left. The fight was going on while you were talking. It's 3 down. It's 4 down. They're all down. They only need 33%. Overtime is ticking, but it's not enough.
Oh man, that was really good on the Wolverines' part. They managed to just push everybody off that Diva bomb right there at the end, taking 3 people out. That was most certainly the play of the game right there, finishing off and allowing their team to just push in and get that final 33%. Honestly, that was really solid from Frozen Scope. Very important. Thunderboy to be taken out, and Danaruk also.
Yeah,
so,
they had lost people in that fight. They were on the back foot. It looked like that was going to be the overtime, but the Wolverines found a way. And, we've got Nepal coming up next. We are going to take a short break before we get into that map 3, but we're going to come back and talk about what we expect on that control map, possibly the winning map from the Wolverines. So make sure to stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to this week 4 match between the Cordova Wolverines and Burchell High. We just saw Hanamura be taken by the Wolverines to go up 2-0. We've gotten Nepal next. And Gorka, what did we see from that second map that maybe kind of pushes this in Wolverines' favor?
Yeah, I saw that Dana Rook on the first map. She was obviously hard carrying most of Burchell, but I saw that the Wolverines were starting to focus more on taking her out, so she wasn't able to show up as much, and that definitely was putting Burchell at a very weak disadvantage. But I felt like other players were starting to be a bit better. I felt like Howard Stark was actually getting some more picks and actually being able to do a better job as in his roles that he played. Which he switched between like support and tank, if I remember correctly. So, but honestly, just Wolverines are focusing more on Dana Rook, and that was definitely giving them a major advantage. That'll really allow them to just deny all of the deny the Burchell any sort of percentage on the second point. So I like that from them. That was a really good play, and I quite like that strategy that they're taking. Right now, I can see that they're doing once again the same exact strategy. Starflight on, Junkrat, Kripartik on Genji, but obviously different game mode, control points. So we're gonna have to see both teams see how well they do. Danemark is actually on tank now, and which is gonna be interesting. And they also have a Winston, and yeah, this is that's interesting. I wouldn't expect Danemark to actually try to play Winston. I expect. I feel like we should probably stick with something like Soldier. This is a good map for Reaper, actually. That's something I'm thinking about.
This is, but a definite switch up here. We see Howard Stark on Pharaoh the last 2 maps, now on the Junkrat as well, so we might have some Junkrat duels, and I wonder if that's a bit of a response to how Starflight had been playing this Junkrat, kind of uncontested on the Rip Towers and everything. We're going to see the first fight early as Kryja and Supernova are already taken so low at this kind of beginning point fight, and they're going to have to try and find a response here. They haven't gotten much damage onto anyone not named Kripartik in this fight. Frozen Scope's finally starting to get taken low, but Kripartik finds the first kill as Kryger goes down. The point's going to open, and it is capped actually by Burchell. But Starflight finding another kill, 2 total for the fight. Spike's gonna fall, and it's a contested fight on the point. Supernova trying to do what he can, but is pretty much the only member in range to contest this, is gonna fall. And they got about 17% once this ticks over, but it still, most of the way, looked like it was Wolverines on that fight.
Yeah, Wolverines would kind of let Burchell just take the point at the beginning and just let them stay on that, but afterwards they were able to just keep themselves together, not take too much damage, and then once they got that first pick, Kapartik got Kryja, one of the supports, they just pushed in and managed to just tear through them out. I was talking about the 1v1s between the Junkrats. Honestly, I feel like, judging from Howard Stark's ult usage, I take that back. I just realized that Howard Stark switched off. Actually, they're running triple support, which is interesting. Actually, trying to out-heal all the damage that the Wolverines are doing, kind of a reactionary response to the Wolverines, just pure strength.
But unfortunately here, the picks are still coming through, and that's one thing, triple support, yes, they can win those extended fights with the heals, but when you're getting picked off, and when you're facing a 5 ult economy, we're going to see transcendence come down. They're just trying to rush point as it's already at 50%, and they're trying to get what they can, but a nice ultimate from Wasting picks up Howard Stark, and now we're going to see the Dragon Blade. We saw the Rip Tower get pretty much nothing from Starflight. Wasting finally falls. Starflight was not in range of that Lucio ultimate, so he is going to fall as well, but still, they're winning the fight off to the side. We're finding picks here now and then for Burchell, but it's 72% and counting. This is just Wolverines in complete control.
Yeah, Wolverines are definitely taking out their DPS is just very strong. They're getting those initial picks, like, obviously, in a longer, more drawn-out fight, Burchell is set to do better. Although I do see that they now going once again with the single tank, 2 DPS, 3 healers. So definitely trying to rush in. Dana Rook on the Doomfist, just trying to push into the point. But we'll see how it does. Honestly, Wolverine don't exactly have that many ults to play with. They have Frozen Scope's Diva Bomb, which can be very useful, but honestly, I would have liked for Starflight to have actually been able to either use that.
Could be big. Picks up 2, and yeah, Starflight probably should have waited to use Riptire, but it's not going to matter. Overtime's ticking down. The fight was so quick there. All it took was 1 Diva Bomb. They didn't even have to use the Dragon Blade, and I think that fight right there kind of shows what is happening on this map right now, Gorka.
Yeah, it's just the Wolverines are just doing a very good job with DPS. That's their strength. That's exactly what they're dominating over Burchell. Because they're just taking out those picks and just getting the people. And when their ults come out, that's just like, it's over. Like, they are doing a very good job most of the time with their ults. It was a bit sloppy, I'll admit. Like, the first time when with Starflight missing his Riptire and Partic having to use his Dragon Blade at that fight. But aside from that, most of their ult usage has been very strong, and that's just been tearing through Burchell. So, if Burchell could somehow deny the ult builtage, like deny them from building their ults so quickly, especially focusing on their own picks. Right now we see the traditional 2-2-2, which will definitely allow them to take on more damage. Compared to getting hooked but not actually taking out himself. That's
we see Spike has to go back to him, has to kind of start pocketing, and it allows Wasting to just die. And now Spike is in terrible position as Dana Rook is going to take down the Mercy. This fight now going in favor of Burchell. Kripartic is still there. Starflight is still in the back trying to get damage as this Junkrat. But first point is again going to go over. Burchell gets the first capture. Starflight finally gets taken down. It's pretty much just Kripartic. He's built up 68%. He's continuing to build, and he is kind of single-handedly trying to push Burchell off. But Dana Rook with this Doomfist, we saw it be so effective on Eichenwalde. They're trying to use it again to great success here, pushing Wasting off. And yes, Kripartic is rezzed. This might be the turn they're looking for. Kripartic finds Supernova to take him down, and Dana Rook down as well. Point capture, 22% this time, but very similar to point 1.
Yeah, there was a very good case in point of what you saw there about what I'm saying. Burchell aren't really getting their picks while Wolverine are. That's the simple facts. Supernova, he got like I think 4 hooks in that fight, not a single kill. He wasn't able to finish it. He hooked like Kripartic like 3 times. It was.
But Dana Rook comes in big. They find 2. Spike and Noctis go. Arctic goes. Frozen Scope gets demech, and this time they're doing what they couldn't do in point 1, Gorka, and it is retake. Frozen Scope is the last one left. Probably going to get staggered here a little bit. Point recaptured, and we've got a map up on our hands.
Yeah. Okay. So see now that they start getting those picks, that Meteor Strike taken out, I believe it was support and DPS, right? Well, just getting rid of those players in the beginning, getting those initial picks, definitely giving themselves an advantage and just allowing them to actually damage. Dana Rook does get taken out though, so that's a pretty bad sign for Burchell in this first fight. And a 3-man Riptire from Starfight. Holy crap! That's once again we see him coming back with those sick Riptires, and Supernova trying to use Whole Hog, but just getting pushed off the point without killing anybody. Once again, Supernova not doing a great job with his picks, I'm noticing, while everybody else on the Wolverines is doing a very solid job.
And we're starting to see similar things happen, Gorka, to what happened on Eichenwalde with Dana Rook. The Doomfist is starting to get caught too far forward, too far in front. When we saw this happen last time, Dana Rook switched to Reaper. This is a decent point for Reaper, not as good as the point 1 on Nepal, but we're going to see what happens. It's 5 ultimates for the Wolverines, and they have point in their favor. So Noctis is the first one to fall because Shadowstorm switched over to the 76, but Kripartic picks up 2 with the Dragon Blade. Doomfist picks up 2 as well, and it's dueling DPS as it's Kripartic versus Dana Rook, but Kripartic has buddies and Dana Rook is alone. Starflight picks up another kill, and it's 73%. We've probably got one more fight in our hands, Gorka.
Yeah, that was very solid on the Wolverine part. They were able to make most out of their ults there. I saw that, I think it was about 3 ults. Yeah, the Burchell were able to push in and start the fight with 3 ults, and yet none of them really worked. And Nano on Supernova didn't do
Riptide's
much.
coming.
It really wasn't doing a very good job. Starflight coming out, taking out Krydra, and honestly, Dragon Blade from Cryptarctic in that fight was actually doing stuff, and Tifa Bomber also was very effective. So just the alt usage on Wolverines are just better. Danaruk actually doing some damage, getting in the backline, but her team not really, following through on her aggression, and Meteor Strike coming out, but don't know if it'll be that useful.
Meteor Strike had to get down before overtime ended, partially because this overtime ticker is really starting to fall quickly. Danaruk's gonna pick up 1 on some Noctis, but finally fall. Can the rest of the team get there? They aren't able to get up to point on time, and it's Wolverines once again taking another map. They go 3-0. Remember, we play all 4 maps no matter what. It is GG's. Congratulations to the Wolverines for taking the map. Now the question is it 4-0 or does Burchell come back and make this 3-1?
Yeah, exactly. Can Burchell really bring back and retain a little bit of honor from the beatdown that they've received from Wolverine so far? Honestly, Cryptarctic doing a great job, 62% kill participation for his team. So most of the cards in this matchup going towards the Wolverines. Just Wolverines are doing a very good job with their ults. It's definitely a strong point, getting those picks with the ults and just using the ults more effectively. That's definitely what's been giving them an advantage. As you saw, a lot of the time, most of the fights just came down to Wolverines getting the first pick, and then Burchell kind of just trying to react. So Burchell always feeling like they're 1 step behind.
Yeah,
So,
and in that map, you mentioned Burchell being 1 step behind. It really feels like Danaruk going forward, trying to be that DPS. It's working well at times, but the rest of Burchell isn't able to follow up Wolverines as a team.
Yeah, there definitely is that kind of disconnect between Danaruk and the rest of her team, honestly, because there's been multiple points where they're not being as aggressive, especially at the very, very end, at that part with overtime. I saw that Moira, I believe it was Shadow Storm. She had her ult come out, but she didn't really push with it. And also saw Krydra jump in with her, but they didn't really push with it. Like the rest of Burchell has that tendency to just stay back and play it too safely. While Danaruk is trying to give them those openings, the rest of her team's not really following through, which is definitely something that he should work on.
So that leads to the question, Gorka, what does Burchell need to do in this map? Yes, we've mentioned that the Wolverines have just kind of been the better team so far through 3 maps, but Burchell have put up a fight. Eichenwalde came down to the very last second. Nepal was once again the very last second here. What can Burchell do to kind of get themselves over this and take a map here?
Yeah, I've been ripping on them quite a lot, to be honest. But the truth is, I actually do believe that Burchell could take a map. I really do believe. It's just, as I said, they need to push in as a group. If they can push in as a group and overwhelm the Wolverines, they could definitely take the damage, because the Wolverines, their DPS are playing kind of separated. And we are... Hold up. Are we missing a player? Starflight hasn't exactly joined in on the map. Okay, yeah, everything's going well.
We're fine.
We're fine. We're good. Nothing bad. No crashes here. So, yeah, if Burchell can work together more as a team and honestly push in together much more, honestly, I feel like they would have much more of a fighting chance with the Wolverines, against the Wolverines. Because they're doing very well. Like, they can get the supports. That's something I've noticed. Spike and Sol Noctis kind of expose themselves a little too much. That's the weakness that I've been noticing from the Wolverines, and their supports are just too open. They're not really trying to get behind. They don't really do a very good job getting behind, wasting, especially Spike. I've noticed that he just jumps around a lot, especially trying to follow Cryptarctic, who in turn is trying to just jump into the enemy comp. So Spike kind of exposes himself. So if the Burchell could recognize that and focus on that, try to take advantage and punish that openness from the supports, I believe they can definitely push in and have a more successful engagement. So but that requires them to communicate more and be more together, and not letting Danaruk or relying too much on Danaruk. Right now we see that we're gonna have
yeah, we're gonna have to see this game. You were mentioning the tri-comp coming out here.
Yeah, this is I really like this comp that Burchell has, and their hold right here. Thunderboy with the Orisa shield up here at this high ground. Danaruk on Soldier, who's a very nice hit scan. The Howard Stark in the air as Farah. He's been doing very well as far. He can definitely land those hits. So far is definitely his forte, and the Garages, as much as they haven't exactly gotten many kills, he's been able to make use of them very well. So I actually think that this is a very good comp. But already we see that Starlight and Kapartik have pushed in, although they weren't able to do that much damage.
Danaruk answering right back, finding a couple of kills. We saw Starflight get into the back line, but Danaruk was there to answer, taking out 3 total now in this fight. It was a pretty good level 1 push because they're still pushing. Ryan and Lucio have been on this point for the entire time. So Noctis and Wasting are finally going to fall. Kripartik gets slept, barely gets up alive, is going to continue to fall as well. It's a very strong 72-meter push in the very first push, but in the end, it is held. I don't know. It seems like Starflight, again, just finding these flanks, Gorka, that he shouldn't be finding at this point in the series.
Yeah, it's definitely, they're not covering their flanks, Burchell. They should definitely do that. Though it seems like they've actually started listening to me somehow, because now they're actually playing more as a group. We saw that Danaruk pushing in along with his teammates back onto the point to get rid of Washing and Saul Noctis from the point. So they are actually now, just as I said, playing more together. Kripartik bringing out the Dragonblade.
Dragonblade coming in, Kripartik's looking for it. Frozen Scope's gonna be DMEC first, but Howard Stark kills himself. Starflight is going to fall. Danabrook picks up a kill. Here's gonna be the ultimate coming out from the Soldier. Can they find? Kripartik goes down. Now this is the fight that Burchell can keep pushing back on. So Noctis is gonna fall as well. Spike is pretty much the only one with Wasting and Frozen Scope trying to get around the flank. Wasting's just trying, has the ultimate if they can, gets the charge in onto Thunderboy, but isn't gonna have enough backup. We see Rip Tower coming down. Where does it come? It's coming from the top, and it is going to find only Thunderboy as this fight's going to continue. Kripartik trying to hold off Howard Stark, but Spike falls to Danaruk. That is no res. Howard Stark is going to fall to Sonoctus. The supports getting in on the eliminations, but it's still not having res means Starflight is now down in this fight. Kripartik is very low and is going to fall as well. Danaruk is running just rabid over the Wolverines offense right now, and only 1 minute and 20 left. That payload has not moved since the first push.
Yeah, this is actually kind of blowing my mind because this is just all of a sudden a total role reversal. Now it's Burchell who's actually playing very together. And they're actually getting those picks. Like, I mean, it's mostly Danaruk, but the rest of the team is actually kind of like setting up Danaruk to get those picks, and he's getting the kills. While I've seen Kripartik jump in like 3 times already, and he hasn't been able to get it. Even with the Dragonblade, he hasn't been able to get very many picks.
The bomb coming in though, this could be big. Supernova falls, and it gets 3. Danaruk's now gonna use the ult, try and answer back. Spike and Starflight are down. Can Danaruk be the hero? Is gonna fall to Wasting. However, Krydra and Thunderboy fall, and with 43 seconds left, this is point 1 captured here as the payload pushes in uncontested.
Wow, okay, so alright, so Burchell showing some signs of life and actually being able to, come back and play together as a team, though they did just kind of get steamrolled, especially with that Diva Bomb. They're still not doing it very good. It still seems like they don't really know how to react with Supernova's Diva Bombs, which are very aggressive and manage to, get right into the defenses, so they're not doing a very good job, dealing with them. But right now they're still playing together as a group. Honestly, they're kind of focusing down Wasting right now, which is a bit, I think, of a misprioritization. Though Howard Stark and Thunderboy have still been able to have a nice overview of the payload right now.
Danaruk falling early to Wasting. Wasting came around the side while the rest of the team was set up on top of the plane trying to find something. Wasting does fall, and the ultimate from Shadow Storm is going to be enough, so Noctis falls as well. Frozen Scope probably going to go down here, but Danaruk falls again. Kripartik in the backline. Starfight has been slept on top of the plane, but with no one besides the Ana, Krydra does pick up the kill in the end. But again, Kripartik is able to get into the backline, find Danaruk, take her down, and he's trying to just get out and survive this. The payload is pushed up past where the Wolverines can realistically get to it right now, but this fight's going to continue because Kripartik is still in the backlines trying to get work work done. They're now targeting Frozen Scope. He has been demeched, and it's wasting just trying to push forward with the shield, trying to give Cryptarctic and Starflight the time to get onto the flank. They're doing what they can with it. Cryptarctic has the Dragon Blade if he decides to go. We do hear the Rip Tower come through. It's coming around from behind. It is going to find Thunderboy. The Orisa is down. This might be the push, but we hear Danabrook now with the ultimate from Soldier does get knocked down to Wasting, and Wasting with another very good Rhino should finally end this fight in the favor of the Wolverines.
Yeah, that was definitely Wasting's Earth Shatter just totally shut down any sort of defense that the Burchell was trying to do. Danabrook with her ult, that Visor would have been very powerful and could have actually probably shut that down, especially with the angle that the Wolverines were trying to get at, were trying to pass through. But that Earth Shatter from Wasting just shut it down completely and allowed them to take full control of the point right there, B point, and also allowing them to push the cart up to this point as you see right now. Honestly, I feel like I do want to do a little shout out to Krydra right now, because his Ana grenades have been very on point and actually been doing a pretty good job, as you just saw, actually kind of forcing the Wolverines to stay a bit back.
Yeah.
Like right now, you just saw that go down and they had to stay into that little hut.
But we hear the Dragon Blade, and he's going to pick up two. Danarok's actually in the back line trying to fight Spike and Frozen Scope right now. It's not a very easy fight for the Soldier, as now her team is falling around her. Danabrook is finally going to fall. It's only a couple members left, and we saw once again, Gorka, the split kind of came out as Danabrook went for the backline, went for the Mercy. The rest of the team's pushing in. They're pushing towards that final point. It's getting close. One more defense here. Let's see what Burchell can come up with. The Diva Bomb's going to come in. It takes out three people and the Orisa turret. Supernova's going to fall as well. We're going to see the Sound Barrier come out. Danarok trying to do what she can with that Soldier ultimate, but it isn't going to be enough as two fall, and this should be the finishing push. A masterful offense once it got its wheels underway, Gorka.
Yeah, that was definitely true. At the very beginning, Burchell was doing a very good job just shutting down any offense, and actually they were kind of being very, inconsistent, and were just not playing very well all of a sudden, Wolverines. But in the end, as you said, it did get its wheels turning again, and once they were able to, move in and get their momentum going, the Wolverines just became an unstoppable force. Honestly, I felt like Burchell were playing better. Honestly, but they started to split themselves up after the first point a little too much, and that kind of weakened them to any sort of Wolverine offense. Danarok once again was trying to push in, but their team wasn't really supporting too well. So they should have kept that group mentality that they had in the first point. I would have loved to see that, but alas, they didn't really do that. That's interesting. I think they might be going for a pirate bastion. Okay, so we finally see a comp change from the Wolverines.
A defensive bastion, though?
Yeah.
I don't know about that one, Gorka.
Yeah, that's. I was about to say they were going to do a pirate ship, but then I realized that they're on defense, so that's not exactly going to be an option. Cryptarctic on Widow. That'll be fun to watch, honestly. I think he's probably just gotten a bit bored of Genji and just wanted to do wanted to play a point-and-click adventure. So, with Spike on Bastion, and Starflight on support all of a sudden. This is a weird setup.
Yeah, it looks like to me, Gorka, that they're just going to try this for point one, try and knock them down as they come through, and they actually work. Shadowstorm gets taken out immediately, and now they're pushing in. We are going to see Krydra get to the payload, but the rest of the Wolverines are there just to meet them. They're saying, why don't we have to back up? Spike's going to fall to Supernova's Reaper, and now Danarok getting in on the action with the Doomfist, and it's a pushback. It was a very aggressive call, very forward-facing call from the Wolverines, but it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, I don't know what they were really thinking with the Bastion, honestly, because like they knew that they had a really good Ana, Krydra, who was just hitting all of her sleep darts. So having a stationary target like a Bastion was definitely just going to get picked off immediately, especially at that angle on the bridge. So that wasn't a very good choice from them.
Yeah, and now
these switch ups for the defense aren't really doing much. Like Spike's not even getting much of an attack already. He's slept once again. Thunderboy and Zarya just doing those, little lobbing some grenades over there, just taking him out. Danarok actually, causing a bit of a nuisance to the advancing the Wolverine team, though he does get picked off. And now the Payload is already at point A, so
Yeah, very
Burchell
quick point A take there. 5 minutes still on the time, but this is the answer back from the Wolverines. Spike finally kind of got time to set up, takes down a lot of people. Kripartik gets in on the action as well, picking up the kill, and it is only a couple remaining. Kryger's gonna fall. Danaruk picks up one as Kripartik does fall, but that's probably all she's gonna get, is Wasting actually gets the downtown kill. Howard Stark trying to push forward. D-Max Frozen Scope, but is gonna fall because now, yes, Spike is slept, but the Bastion is on point and eligible. Supernova coming in the background, picks up 3 with the Death Blossom, trying to go onto the Bastion now, takes up Wasting as well. Spike's the only one left, and Bastion against 4. Yes, he picks up the Supernova, and Kripartik actually takes down Shadowstorm. Thunderboy is going to pick up the kill. Dragonblade's going to come through, though, and I thought this was going to be a difficult defensive hold for the Wolverines, but they're doing fairly well. It does fall in the end, but that was a heck of a little defensive hold 2v4 there.
Yeah, even though Burchell, are now currently in control of the point, they're pushing the point. It wasn't very clean, that kind of control, especially that Dragonblade at the end, just taking out who was it? Thunderboy. Thunderboy had a lot of charges Zarya, and that's a high charge Zarya is really powerful. So if Thunderboy can maintain that charge, they would have been able to do a lot. But in the end, he actually did get taken out, so he's back to 0. So and also Danaruk's now on tank as well, which is an interesting pick. But
Danaruk has been doing work on this Reinhardt, picking up, I believe, 3 kills for herself. Kryger did use the ult. I didn't quite see where it went. I think it might have went on Thunderboy, but I missed it a little bit.
Danaruk it went on Thunderboy. That's where it went. Yeah.
And so they're able to push through with this. They're looking. Kripartik's trying to find a flank to the side, gets behind 2 of them, but it's Danaruk going forward. And this time, on this Reinhardt can survive being a little forward of the team. Frozen Scope's gonna get demeched. Point B is in contention here as Kripartik just trying to do what he can on this Genji, keep them away. So Noctis is gonna fall. We are gonna see the Dragon Blade come out, but Kripartik falls almost immediately. A pretty much worthless Dragon Blade, but Spike is on top trying to do damage. Is gonna be able to take out 2. Can they get to this Bastion? Danaruk trying, is finally gonna take him down. Point B gets taken in the meantime, and this is just such a fast offense right now from Burchell.
They're just taking full control of the point, honestly. I feel like the picks on the Wolverine side have severely dropped in quality. You saw that Dragon Blade go right when Kripartik was low on health and Anabombed. So it was a bit of a miscalculation on his part to use his ult there. Supernova, his
Death Blossom
have been very powerful and just totally game changing, honestly.
Wasting's gonna fall as well.
Damage as tank and doing damage to the tanks. Honestly, Burchell is showing up. That's what they're doing. They're doing the damage. They're showing up with their DPS, and they're taking people. They're getting the picks. That's what's happening. Supernova with
Oof, but the Diva Bomb picks up 2. This last chance hold from the Wolverines may get in. Danaruk and Supernova pick up 2. They are going to bring Starflight back into this fight. Danaruk, I don't think has died, or maybe only died once since the switch to Reinhardt. Doing very strong on the tank right now. There is still 3 minutes on the clock. That Payload is so close to the end. There's only 3 members of Burchell left. Can they kind of find a way to survive this? Waiting's behind. Danaruk trying to go forward, continuing. Gets 4 with the ultimate. 2 fall immediately, make that 3. Starflight is behind, just trying to buy time, but Danaruk is going insane. Spike is going to be able to get the res on Kripartik, but falls immediately. Dragonblade's going to come out. Can they get anything? Kripartik not quite finding what he wants to with the Dragonblade here. Does find Howard Stark in the end, is still alive, but another Death Blossom from the Reaper. It's pretty much only Wasting. He gets Supernova and Krytro, but misses the charge. They're just trying to hold. This is such a long defense if the Wolverines want to make it count, but Wasting and Frozen Scope have found a way to kind of buy a little bit of time. Spike is back, maybe trying to look for res, but is going to fall, and they're just falling one by one. They're getting staggered so much they cannot get back to this Payload. The ultimate from Danaruk is going to come out, is nano boosted as well, just knocking Starflight. That Payload is so close, and this should finally be the push with 2 minutes to go. Burchell proves their offense is here to stay.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, honestly, Burchell, they were really showing up with their. It was definitely their picks. Their picks were doing a very good job. They were able to. Their alt usage wasn't well, was also doing pretty well. Though I would feel like they were mostly doing a pretty good job, and I also felt like Kartik on the Wolverine side wasn't exactly showing up. He wasn't doing as much damage as he's done before in the previous maps, and also I think it was the momentum that the oh, we have a lever. Oh, disconnect. Yay. We're gonna be paused for the game right now, so ladies and gentlemen, yeah, so you have to wait a bit. But yeah, it gives me a bit of time. I feel like Burchell were able to get some nice momentum going from the very start, since that very weird and bizarre comp that the Wolverines played didn't go well, and because of that, Burchell was just able to take full control of the momentum of the game, and like we're able to really push in and have a very nice game right there.
Yeah, and we saw the Burchell offense. They have the time advantage here, about a minute in advance. We saw the Wolverine offense did move very fast, very quickly, but Burchell was able to seemingly match them side for side. This pause is kind of giving the teams time to figure out how they want to run these offenses. It's going to be very fast. I wouldn't be surprised if all we get is kind of that point A fight with these times. What do you think we're going to see here? Because I expect Burchell to go for the same game plan, but it feels to me like for the first time this series, Wolverines kind of have to fix something here.
Yeah, I feel like I think they might need a bit of a break. This pause might be like a hidden blessing, because that might just be able to give Kartik and Starflight maybe just time to center themselves. Just sometimes like when you're just playing a lot and you have to kind of you being a bit off. If you just let yourself center, just focus a bit, just take a breather. It lets you once again kind of reset. So if Kartik and Starflight once again show up and manage to do a lot more damage, that could definitely allow them to push the cart and get more momentum way quicker. But honestly, if Burchell is smart, what I would see that them doing, and probably the best course of action, is that because of the manner of the kind of like at the very beginning, at the very first part of like the point A, right at the door of the attackers, if they can like do a little bit of damage there, but do some damage to the initial push of the Wolverines, that would be nice. But I feel like Burchell should have most of their focus be on the second half, right by the point, and kind of focus on making sure that in that area, the Wolverines aren't exactly, be able to push the cart. Maybe because that kind of lets them surround it,
Yeah.
Because if the Burchell is able to take control of the high ground, and Wolverines kind of just push, obviously as they push the cart below the tunnel, they can definitely get a jump on them and do a lot more damage than the Wolverines can. So.
Well, we're gonna have to kind of see if your predictions come true. We are back in Frozen Scope, got that disconnect solved. In the game, we have 30 seconds here to prepare the defenses. I am really curious to see what we see here. I think the high point defense is definitely smarter for a fast time like this. When you only have a minute, if you can get one good high point defense, then it's going to delay the offense so much. It looks like we're seeing a very similar strategy to what worked for them on offense come out here from Burchell. As we see Danaruk, she's back on that Reinhardt, really did amazingly well on that Reinhardt once the switch was made. I don't think died once, but it's a very aggressive defense coming out here from Burchell, as they're going to immediately rush in. They do back off back towards the turn, and it does get the payload moving here in favor of the Wolverines, but they're going to have to fight to make this turn, and with only 50 seconds to go, fights aren't necessarily going to be very few, or they're going to be few and far between. The first charge is going to hit. It takes Wasting pretty much out, but it's put Danaruk so far in front of her team. Can she get back? They're trying Spikes, trying to get the res. Spike does get the res off, does fall for it, but meanwhile Supernova and Shatterstorm fall in the backline as the fights have been split. Danaruk got so far in front of her team. Wasting's going to get a counter charge. Howard Stark falls immediately. Kartik is still alive, is barely holding on here. He's pretty much the one left. He does have the I believe, on a grenade on him, but it's 17 seconds left. This payload isn't moving too fast. Danarook is still alive in this, is going to take down Starflight. It's pretty much just Cryptarctic and Spike here. 7 seconds left. We'll have to see where Danarook is finally taken down, and they do get a little bit of a push. That was looking dicey there for the Wolverines.
Yeah, that was I was very concerned because Burchell kind of gave the Wolverines an even playing field to fight by not taking the high ground immediately, and Wolverines are definitely able to take full control of that. They were at the start kind of like trying to flank around, and they had most of their people like off the payload, but once they got some picks onto the actual Burchell team, they were able to push back on the payload and make some good headway.
Yeah, here comes the Dragon Blade. Cryptarctic is going to use it. Danarook takes down 2. She is trying. She is nano boosted, I believe, so she's trying to make things happen. Takes down 4 people, I believe. Wasting's pretty much the only one left. Is he going to have time to survive here? Give his team time. Overtime's going to tick down, and it is 73 meters. That is all Burchell have to beat. They need to make the turn, and they will take their this map.
Score.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like they could definitely make that. Honestly, with Cryptarctic once again wasn't really like, he was a bit off with his he got like 1 pick for his Dragon Blade. Starflight was back in kind of in the zone, and he was doing a lot of damage. But I feel like since that strong performance that we just saw from Burchell, if they can translate that to their offense again, trying to get their trying to do more damage. I already see that Supernovas on Reaper, which is a very good pick in my opinion.
Yeah, we saw him do a lot of work on that Reaper on the defensive side, kind of taking Starflight out of the equation at times. Did get picked off, but just having something to counter that Junk Rat. And this is going to be interesting. Danarook, once again, this Reinhardt has worked so amazingly well since they switched to it. We're going to see an aggressive defense once again. No, Bastion for it this time.
Yeah, they're definitely not doing another Bastion now. That's stick with the Mercy. Actually, I feel like this is going to be a bit in Burchell's favor because that allows Supernova to immediately get right in their faces and do the heavy close counter damage that Reaper is known for. So I feel like this is going to be very good. Supernova's already doing damage to Frozen Scope, and Danarook's already like in their faces.
Yeah, Danarook switched over to the Doomfist for the offense, takes down 2. Supernova does get taken down by Cryptarctic, and Cryptartic's trying to get into the backline pretty much alone, though. Only has Wasting. Spike is currently pocketing the Reinhardt of anybody. Spike is going to get some Noctis res, and they're trying to hold as long as they can. The longer they can hold the payload right here, the better for this Wolverine defense. Krydra is starting to fall very low, but Danarook is still kind of in the backline. She's trying to do what she can, takes down Starflight, so Noctis might be in her sights now. Supernova is trying to drop down from the high ground on top of them. Wasting's the next one down. Spike trying to get back to the Reinhardt is going to be able to survive, but Cryptarctic falling because of it. Frozen Scope is now in kind of alone as this Diva, so Noctis falls due to Danarook, and now Spike goes down as well. This is going to be a good push, and with a minute left, Frozen Scope trying to at least delay this, but is just going to kind of get staggered for it, as Starflight really the only one here to contest. Only 24 or so meters left, or about 30 meters left on this payload to push through. Supernova's going to get a pick onto Starflight. They're trying to fall down, but this is the Wolverines kind of going in one-on-one here, so Noctis is going to should get taken down here. He does, and Spike going to try and go for the res? Supernova is playing very aggressively forward here. Cryptarctic falls on the payload, did a lot to contest it, and Danarook looking to make the push. This should be a game-winning push if they can get it as Spike falls. Starflight is behind them looking to use the Riptide, but the point is so close. He is going to get 2, and they are mopping up at one of the last possible seconds. Danarook isn't going to find anything with the Doomfist ultimate, and it's just 2. Does pick up Noctis, does get Wasting as well. Can Danarook be the hero that Burchell needs to finish this? It is looking very good as Cryptarctic is the last one alive. Is going to take down Howard Stark, but it is so long of a fight, so much of a delay here. Spike is going to fall, try to res. Frozen Scope gets demacked, is going to get taken down, and after a long chaotic fight, Burchell finds the win.
Yeah, that was very good, honestly. Supernova's pick onto the Reaper was a very smart move, just allowing them to do so much damage and just allowing them to push in against those tanks. So, surprisingly, Spike manages to get play the game as Bastion, so that's interesting. But yeah, definitely, Burchell was definitely able to show up more in this match, just focused on getting more picks. Just did a better job, honestly, than the other three. The match will still go towards the Wolverines, but at least it's a 3-1. So and also Burchell were able to get all the cards, so that's a very nice sign of their nice abilities. That's a very solid game. I liked how they were playing on that last night.
Absolutely. They showed up. They showed that they're not necessarily just a team that can get run over. That last map maybe giving them some momentum in the rest of the season. We've only got, a few weeks left at this point until kind of the playoff push really starts. So it's just going to be interesting to see how these teams fight on. Wolverines looking strong, Burchell coming back firing at the end, but thank you everyone for tuning in to this week 4 matchup with the Cordova Wolverines taking the victory over Burchell High. You can follow us at official EGF on Twitter and Twitch for updates and announcements as the season goes on. And once again, the season wouldn't be possible without the support from our sponsors, the Yukon Gaming Club, the Yukon School of Engineering, and Mob Crush. I am Victor Vic Sharpwani, and you can find me on Twitter at the Vic Sharp.
Yeah, and I'm Gorka, and you can find me on Twitter at Gorka_man. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast, and we'll see you next time. Have a nice day.